So joining us now is the co-sponsor of the Laken Riley Act, Georgia Republican Congressman Mike Collins. Gentlemen, I'm so grateful that you're here. This is such a sad story. We have the State of the Union tonight. If I'm not mistaken, you invited her parents. There will be a vacant seat. Her parents very respectfully declined. You can confirm that, sir?
They did. They did. And you know, it is a tragedy. And it was an honor to be the original sponsor on this bill. And the thing that they asked me when we were talking about it was if we can do anything in Congress to pass something that so another family doesn't have to go through what they've gone through, then they would love to have Laken's name put on that. And that's exactly what we did. I mean, I think it was evident by the bipartisan support and the overwhelming win that we had with this bill that it just reduces that threshold and allows local law enforcement to call ICE and call ICE in to detain these people and deport them for things like theft. Because, you know, usually petty crimes, theft, whatever it may be, leads to bigger crimes. And in this case, Jose Ibarra, he was picked up for shoplifting earlier before that. He was even picked up in New York City when he was in New York City. And he just moved his criminal trade enterprise down to Athens, Georgia, where he resumed, and the result of it was the death of Laken Riley.
You know, I was reading through some of the nuances of the bill, and I want to ask you, do you think ICE is up for the job? It is more responsibility on them. Is that a big ask? Are you confident in those federal officials?
No, I am very confident. Our law enforcement agencies want to do their job. There's a third part to this bill as well, and that is if Homeland Security doesn't allow them to come in and detain these people, that the states have the right to go to federal court to sue DHS and Mayorkas, and the federal judge can step in and say, no, you need to go and do your job and pick up these people because they have harmed Americans.
I do want to play devil's advocate here. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't, right? I want your response to people who say this is creating a wedge, it's too much legalese, the states suing the federal government, it's too complicated. Your response?
This is a very simple bill. I think it was evident by the overwhelming response from the House this afternoon in passing this bill. It passed with flying colors, and it passed with people off of both sides of the aisle. You know, we're at war here. We're having an invasion on our southern border. That's just one front, but we've also got another front, and that's out there across this country. And you're seeing that with a crime wave of these illegal immigrants coming into our country, committing crime, just taking their trade from wherever they came from over to here and committing crimes on the American people. And we have to fight on that front as well. You know, I heard your segment right before I came on, and you were talking about that vehicle that turned over with the two young Americans in there. You realize that TikTok, through the cartel, is advertising for these young people to drive their vehicles or their parents' vehicles or whoever down there to pick up these illegal aliens and drive them to points that the cartel tells them, and then they get paid for that. And it's things like this we have got every time you turn around, we have got another wrinkle in this thing, another piece to the puzzle that is just showing that this invasion is getting to critical mass.
Yeah, you and I could talk about social media all day, right? The influence. We're in an election cycle. As you mentioned, there was overwhelming support. What message is this sending to the administration?
Well, I think it's sending a message not just to the administration that this bill needs to be signed into law, but it's also sending a message to the Senate in which has refused to do hardly anything this year, at least their job as far as the bills that we sent over there. You know, we sent over H.R. 2 over 300 days ago that would secure the border, that would enact those executive orders that Trump put into place when he was president, that Biden rescinded when he got to office, that are allowing these people to come across. And they haven't taken that up. But I think with the good bipartisan support that we've seen today, that you're going to see the Senate should take this bill up, and they should take it up immediately.
Right. Okay. I do want to end on such a personal note. If this bill had already passed, would Laken still be with us?
Yes, she would still be here. Sure would. This guy would have been detained and deported possibly as far back as New York, and that would have been months and months ago.
All right, Congressman Mike Collins, we're so grateful that you're here. Again, we're thinking of Laken's family, another devastating day that she's not on the planet. Thank you for joining us.
It is. Thank you. It's a tough day. It's a
It
tough
is a
day for
tough
the
day.
family. It has been, and our prayers are out for them.
Yes,
So,
sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you for having us.
Well,
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.